Hi, and welcome to another Cajun Toy Review. Today we're going to be looking at Mcfarlane Toys DC Multiverse King Shazam. And damn, this figure looked good. Saw pictures of this figure when it was for pre-orders and everything, and man, just having it in hand, seeing this bad figure, he looks so good. Very, very excited to talk about this guy. This is pretty much the first Shazam figure I've had in a while. The one previously was nothing compared like this. It was rather weak. So this one looks dope, and I'm very, very excited to talk about this guy. So King Shazam, the Infected. We'll talk a little bit about that when we unbox it, but comes with some extra hands, nothing else in there, no kind of flight stand, which is unfortunate because this is a really fun character. It looks like the pose from what I've seen. On the back, we got King Shazam looking awesome with all that lightning going on there. Some other figures from this wave. We have the White Flash, Heavy Metal Batman, Aquaman from the movie, Darkseid, and Heavy Metal Wonder Woman. I have a couple of these. If you want to see any of these, put them in the request to do after this one. But not much there. UPC on the bottom, as always, will be in the end. So let's go ahead and check out our King Shazam. Alright, and we are looking at our King Shazam, the Infected. And this is a really, really good figure. There is a lot to like with this figure. I have only really, so far, just one major complaint about this figure. We'll talk about it when we break down his articulation or accessories. They kind of go hand in hand. But overall, I'm very, very pleased with this guy. Sculpting on it is really good. He looks just evil as shit and awesome. This is one that's definitely going to have fun taking some pictures with and having them on my shelf. If you're thinking about getting them, I recommend it. My gripe is not, I guess, to this particular area in particular, it's his hands. And you might be able to spot it in the posing, but I don't know what they're doing with the joints on the hands. But I don't know. If you are unfamiliar with this version of King Shazam, he is new. He is part of, basically he is Shazam infected by the Batman Who Laughs. He is corrupted and basically infected, basically like the infected Superman that we saw. But, and he's Shazam, so yeah, you got an evil version of Shazam running around whooping on everybody's ass. And it's a relatively newer storyline and stuff like that. And I really hope that the Batman Who Laughs gets a really good like DC animated treatment soon. They need a movie with him and some of these really interesting characters that have come from this dark DC universe that they're doing. So anyway, great figure, small nitpick, and you know, hey, I could be having bad luck and it could be just my figure, but we'll look at it. So let's take a look at what he does come with, and then we'll look at our figure itself. So King Shazam comes with 4 hands, and we got our 2 fisted hands, and they got kind of like these knucklers on them. They like basically it's part of his gauntlets, but it's got some spikes on it, which are very solid. It looks really cool. They make it a pain in the ass when you're trying to shove the fist onto the joint, but it looks really cool. They got a little tiny paint chip on mine right there that I see. But overall, it's a little sloppiness right here too on that side. So, a little bit hit or miss on this one. Yeah, a little bit more slop right here. So, and I did struggle getting this fist on him initially, so I don't think that would have rubbed off on that piece, but we'll look at it. This one kind of the same. This not as bad. He's got some big fat fingers though. And then these kind of like these creepy grippy hands. It's not like he has nothing he comes with to hold, but it's these weird like, you know, I'm about to select the best piece of candy out of those bowl hands. But the fingernails look great. We got a little bit of that paint bleed over right where it kind of comes over on there. And you can see a little bit of blue or something in there as well. But overall, good stuff. These are painted better, much better than the this with a lot of that paint bleeding on there. Now, what I was talking about, so this joint. I can already see the plastic bending a little bit. See, that's a struggle to get that on there. So you really got to go push down hard on these hands on there, and then of course with these little knuckles on there, doesn't make it the most fun experience out there. So straighten this up. See, you can see that plastic starting to warp and bend a little bit. That's not good. That should not be so hard to get these hands on there like that. And see, I'm pushing on there. So yeah, I'm gonna heat this up a little bit, but that shouldn't be that hard. That should not be so difficult to switch hands out on a figure. So anyway, that's his accessories, I guess you would call it. Let me put that hand on there, and then we'll look at the figure. Looking at our King Shazam figure, it's a really great figure. Like I said multiple times and stuff like that. You know, the hands are aggravating and a little bit more troublesome than they need to be, but as overall, once again, for a $20 figure, this is dope. This is really, really awesome. So let's see, height wise, he is right at 7, maybe like 7 inches. Comparing him to some of the other figures for comparison, so here's our Superman or Batman from the Multiverse line, and see, he squares up very nicely with those. But overall, like, everything besides my nitpicks is fantastic. The paint on this guy, the color scheme on him, I love this kind of it's almost like a crimson maroonish red, just really, really great. The face sculpt on him and stuff like that, you know, the brown leather, really, really good. I wish he came with maybe an alternate head or some kind of lightning accessory, something else. But we are talking Mcfarlane, and they're not known for really packing a whole lot. But this is a whole new sculpt, new body, lots of really, really cool things here. So let's take a look at his, start with the paint. We'll start with the head, and look at that face. That face is freaking awesome. That looks evil as hell. You kind of see a little bit, he's bald, there's nothing back there, but just, man, the eyes and stuff like that smile and that blue for the eyes just looks really, really, really good. Especially like taking pictures and stuff with it, that really comes out really well. And I wish they had a little bit more posability and movement, articulation on this neck for some shots, but it looks awesome. He just looks evil as hell. And then of course the cowl, all this rip and stuff like here, all that tear looks really, really good. Kind of how it comes from the bottom, just looks badass. Now this fur kind of feathery cowl, he looks like the guy, I can't think of his name, from Warcraft 3, Heroes of the Storm. This guy right there. It looks really cool, but I really like this. This looks like something like out of Game of Thrones or something like that. It looks really cool, and this side is, it looks like it's glued on there. This side is loose. This side is still stuck. So maybe for me posing it already, but it kind of stays down there with the heads in place anyway, so it doesn't bother me. But it does go around the back, and that's just that detail on that looks so good. Look at all those feathers on there and stuff like that. That looks sick. And just kind of follow that down. We'll come back around. The cloak is awesome. It's all tethered and everything, and it's got this really cool texture to it, almost like a webbing. Looks really good, and it kind of flips over on the other side. But just that silhouette, that torn look that it has and everything, and you know, all this stuff like that, that's just awesome. Like, say what they want, McFarlane, they can make some damn good capes, and this is one of them. This whole neck piece kind of comes around, and it's got this really cool kind of like harness that comes around his neck. It's got these gold buckles on there, which I really appreciate. They painted those. A lot of times you wouldn't even bother, but they did, and that looks fantastic. The lightning bolt is kind of weird that it's not attached at this point, which I guess is good, because you know, we got our joint right here for his ab crunch, and that would probably mess it up, and I can see why I did it. But just sometimes when it's sticking out a little bit, it kind of catches me off. But yeah, this whole tunic, whole arm, you got these stripes right here, but it's like got this red kind of like fiber kind of mesh stuff like that, almost like a chainmail, but it goes all the way down, and then we got the lines and line work that goes down the legs and stuff like that. Looks really awesome. Gauntlets, again, lots of detail on these guys. Not a lot of paint, like on these buckles and stuff like that, but they just look sweet. And then like when you have these gauntlets lined up like that, it looks like an continuation of that as well. But yeah, they look awesome. Like they look really cool. Now this would have been kind of cool if this was painted here. I mean, these silver tips are barely touched. I might touch that up at one point maybe, but I wish they kind of maybe something on the buckles would have been nice too. The belt, really cool. Like the way this kind of loops cut over, kind of folds. You got the gold right there, so you got that detail in there, and it kind of loops over and stuff like that. And then we got these silver spikes, the gold in the middle. Awesome stuff, man. Awesome. But I do love how it kind of hangs down, and we just got these different layers of like leather straps that come down and stuff like that. Just looks so good. Like you know, I nitpick on little things, but like stuff like this is a $20 figure, y'all. This is really good. And the boots look very similar to the gauntlets, stuff like that, with all these straps and stuff on there. I wish it was a little bit wider and came down a little bit more, because it does expose. Sorry, I'm looking not through the viewfinder. I wish this was a little bit wider, because this does kind of make the ball joint exposed on the bottom, and that kind of sucks. This would come down a little bit more. I know it might mess with the articulation on there, but it's kind of glaring when you look at it like this. Shoes are very plain. He's got some big old clown feet, but we do have, you know, peg holes on the bottom. And so looking at his articulation, like I said, there's very little on the head. You got rotation on that, you got a little bit of flex, not much, but as for up and down, you gotta push on that, and you get a little bit down. Up is you're pushing against the feathers and the cowl. You're not gonna really get anything, so you're not gonna really get any dynamic flying poses like this. But that's not surprising from this line. But you can get him hovering, looking like a badass anyway. So there's ways to get him looking awesome without that neck. He has a full arm rotation. And this one, so maybe when I was posing. So yeah, you're gonna be limited a little bit. You're gonna have to work around this tough of shoulder pad. Mine already came loose on this side, and just like a little tab of glue will slap that right back in place. He does have a bicep swivel, which, all right, there we go. Double jointed elbows, which is limited by his shoulder pads up there, so you're not going to be scratching the back of his neck. And there is flex in those little wrists there as well. No rotation behind them gauntlets. He does have an ab crunch, not very far back. He pushing against that, but a little bit looking up, but you can get some flex on there. And of course he has rotation in the waist. He can do a split, and kick about this high. Yeah. He has double jointed knees, which go all the way back. So there is no thigh cut or calf rotation on this guy. It looks like they would be. And we have the ball joints on the feet, which mine out the box wasn't lined up right. I had to kind of hold it like this and kind of turn it to get the position right. It was facing sideways, which is kind of weird. It was making it hard to make him stand until I realized what was going on. It was kind of stuck, so I just kind of warmed it up. And then we have our toe flex as well. And like I said, peg holes on the bottom of the feet. So overall, sweet figure, really awesome. Looks great. Makes me excited to see a regular Shazam for one thing, but that's just, man, that is sick. Like, look at that. $20 figure. Yeah, don't pass it up if you're thinking about it. It's really cool. I think that's like, even if you really didn't know who this was, like, I mean, you could pull that S on there and you gotta just, I mean, you can pull that lightning bolt off. I said S. You can pull that lightning bolt off, and you know, you have a cool custom kit right there you can do with something. But anyway, I think it's great. My favorite Mcfarlane figure in a bit are the ones I've done recently. So that's saying a bit. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please leave a like. We are almost at 90 subscribers, man. It's blowing me away. Like, I really, really appreciate all the views and all that likes and all the comments and stuff like that, guys. It means so much. So thank you, thank you. And I do request if there's videos that you want to see, go ahead and put it in the comments, stuff like that. And I do appreciate all that and the feedback. So as always, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video, and take care of yourself.